This week on Arizona Illustrated, shooting lightning.
The randomness of it is completely wonderful.
An historic pride event.
We should be proud of the magic that LGBTQ people bring to our communities.
Vegan Mexican food made with desert plants.
My grandma, my nana, she would make food, but we didn't have any recipes. And I used to love it, and it was all about family.
And Monsoon Creatures.
Organisms on the planet really respond to the monsoons and the moisture, and it's the time when they're happiest.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. Well, the monsoon is finally bringing some rain and making some noise, and that beautiful rumbling noise is what helped make Tucson the lightning photography capital of the world. This time of year brings spectacular thunderstorms to southern Arizona. And for the two photographers you're about to meet, every storm offers a chance to capture another amazing moment in the sky.
There's a bunch of good apps for weather and lightning and things like that, but it's also not as good as someone looking out and looking at clouds and driving.
Do you need a car to shoot lightning? A car is a good idea.
We're driving at a reasonable rate to see if we can get out to a place where there's clouds that are building, because it's ever elusive.
It's only 5:30, so it's like 2 hours before we can even shoot yet. We're trying to get out of where the lightning is now and trying to be somewhere where the lightning's gonna be in an hour and a half. I moved here from Illinois. When we moved to Arizona, you could see everywhere because there wasn't trees, and the big storms would build up on the Catalinas and move into the desert, and we just thought that was really cool.
I moved to Arizona when I was 12. I wasn't so happy in Arizona because it was boring and it was hot. And then the monsoons came, and I went directly outside and gravitated to the lightning. And my dad went out there with me, and we just hung out and watched the storms. I don't think probably too much is going to come out of this, but that's part of the deal.
I'm thinking it sucks, unfortunately. I mean, it's kind of iffy that we're going to get any kind of photo. The sun will probably pop through here when the sun's going down over there, and it'll, beautiful light will be coming through here, and you just don't know what you're going to shoot, so you want to come out and look around.
I've been lucky enough to get, oh, there's some lightning, so there we go. So we're going to drive a little further now.
For starters, with lightning, since it's so dangerous and people get killed all the time, you need to be aware of safety, your own personal safety. I mean, the thing is, no photo's worth getting struck by lightning.
The essential things that you're going to need is some sort of camera that has either a bulb setting or that can at least shoot for 30 seconds. And if it has a bulb setting, then you'll need a cable release. And you'll need a tripod of some sort, and you'll need better to have a wider lens because it gives you more of a chance that you'll actually get something in the frame. If you shoot at a lower ISO, meaning 50 or 100, and then you expose at, say, f8, if they gave you that, you got a pretty good chance that you'll be able to catch something.
All your predictable parts, like how many tripods, what lenses do I shoot with, which cameras do I set up, do I shoot this on film, do I shoot it on digital, all that stuff is the variables that you control. I think it's a little too much rain. Damn, I almost would have got that. None of that matters if the lightning doesn't cooperate and do what you're hoping that it'll do.
It's a lot like fishing, just because you put your camera up doesn't mean you get to catch a big bolt. So, but it was fun to stand by the thing and try and take a lightning photo, and now we're off again down on the road to Wilcox. So maybe there'll be something better around the corner.
In a year, like if you go out somewhere between 30 and 60 times in a monsoon season, that was interesting, whatever that was. I don't even know if there was lightning bolts in there, but we missed that. See, the camera was closed when that was going on.
Did you get that? Because that was huge if it got it. The randomness of it is completely wonderful for me. We'll never get this moment again. Like we will never see this sky again look exactly like this.
We're over by the edge of Davis Mountain and kind of just shooting pictures of a rainbow before the sun goes down. It's a pretty brilliant rainbow. You got the rainbow and you need the next thing. What's the next thing? 99% of the time, I get the amazing clouds and the amazing foreground, no lightning. Or a huge lightning bolt hits right on the edge of the frame. You know, it's like garbage. I used to just throw those out. And now that it's all digital, you're just delete, 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 delete.
We're shooting it from the car, but it's just, it doesn't look very focused because the rain gets in the way of the light. All right, well, I say we're out of the truck stop. Oh, damn it, see? That one I missed. Damn it. Oh, why did you miss that?
Show me a lightning. Show me the lightning. We've only seen 4 or 5 bolts. There was like 80 in 15 minutes, like 2 hours, you know, an hour and a half ago when we started. Where's the lightning? We getting 10, there's another one. We either got that one or missed it. Oh, I missed it. Missed it, damn. Oh, there's a lightning bolt.
There's the iconic shot when you're there and you're set up on a tripod, but I'm taking also the shot that you're driving, you know, there. Part of the reason I like that shot so much is because it seems more accurate to what most people experience. Because when you're driving, when there's a flash off to one side or another, it's kind of a blur that you switch, and sometimes you see the strike and sometimes you don't, and that's kind of what those images are about.
The thing that I like is it's a visual representation of energy. Energy controls so much in this world, you know, everything's fueled by energy. And it's just really interesting that lightning, you know, kind of like paints a photograph of what energy looks like. And it's something that I do, you know, I shoot lightning, I'm a lightning photographer. So I've been shooting lightning for 30 years. And it's like there's always something different, you know. Tucson's a really great place to shoot lightning because we have large expanse of space and we have really dramatic mountains. Generally speaking, there's like dry air out to the west, which keeps the sun clear, which makes this really dramatic side lighting come in on everything.
There's such variety of landscape and mountains and storm direction, and it's condensed into a certain area. From 4th of July till sometime in September, there's going to be storms.
The thunderstorms is the monsoon, is what brings life to the desert, and so it's like all part of that too. It's like this whole axis that our whole environment pivots on in Tucson.
It's not easy to capture what you see, but that's okay. I think the reason why I'm still out here looking for a photograph is only partly for the photograph.
Wow, beautiful, huh? On June 28th, the Tohono O'odham Nation hosted an historic event. It was a meaningful step toward inclusion and respect for many members of the community, and we were there.
Let's hear it, everybody. Thank you so very much, brothers and sisters. I'd like to welcome you to the 2019 Pride Day.
We believe in positive change for our community, and one of those things is to make sure that we're celebrating and acknowledging our LGBTQ humachkam. Two-Spirit and LGBTQ community has always been a part of our Himadag. LGBTQ people have always been a part of our Himadag. Woo! Yes, that has always been a part of who we are as O'odham people. And we should be proud of that. We should be proud of the magic of the power that LGBTQ people bring to our communities. And we need to talk about it and celebrate it. And that's what we're doing here today.
When I was age 3, I had questions. See, I couldn't understand the difference between a truck, a Barbie doll, and the gender I was assigned to. So I struggled every day because of my skin, my eyes, and what I held inside.
LGBT people have been always a part of our Himadag, our way of life. And I think for a long time we've accepted that. But with the coming of other ethnic groups to our home here, it's kind of put us in a place where we kind of feel ashamed of ourselves and afraid of who we are, to show it to other people for fear of being discriminated against.
There are some places on the nation that, they aren't very welcome at. You can just feel it. So, but for the most part, I am, by my school and by my home, I'm very accepted. I just feel great being here because it shows that, we're teaching our youth to be more accepting and involved in things, and it shows that our elders and grown-ups that they don't have to be stuck in the past and what it was before, and they can learn to accept new things, old dog learning new tricks.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Annie. Thank you so very much.
I was just really happy for them that they're going to do something, because nobody's really actually done something like this. Pride, telling everybody to come out, be yourself, have the open mic, it's awesome. That's why I made the drive here. For me, it makes me happy just seeing the younger people here, because, I'm older than everybody, well, not everybody, but most of the kids here. So when I was growing up in my teens, in the 80s, it was not talked about. But now, as I got older, I'm more open, and this wasn't me 20 years ago. I'd be sitting in the corner eating a snow cone. But, it's good to see the young people here and just letting them know people are there that you can talk to. We're just going to still keep doing this until we reach some people, until the next generation can take it over.
Tucson was named the United Nations World City of Gastronomy for a reason: the food. Local chefs and restaurants are conjuring some of the most innovative and delicious regional cuisine in the country. Melding the past with the present, they're blazing a new trail using desert plant ingredients and a rich culinary imagination. This is Tumerico.
My first restaurant was, it was a hometown buffet back on the days, the one on Oracle and River. And I was, as a dishwasher, I was washing dishes there. I even work at Taco Bell, too. Chipotle, yeah, and I got fired 2 times of Chipotle. Yeah. They measure everything, and they just want you to measure little things, and like you have to like follow the recipes, and you have to do what they tell you to do, and I think I don't like that. We are in Tucson, Arizona, at Tumerico. We make experiments, good experiments here, with a lot of spices and fresh ingredients. I know a lot of people, they don't handle spicy very well, but they need it, so I throw a little bit in there. I'll try to make a lot of food for you. Today we're just gonna keep it simple. We're making a little salsa for a carne asada tacos that we're gonna make. The chile is sometimes a little bitter, so mesquite flour is really smooth. I like the flavor a lot, so it'll be creamy. These are the Tumerico carnitas. They're made of jackfruit. We made them here, and then this is jackfruit carnitas right here. I love nopalitos because they're everywhere here. And they're super good for you. I like hot food. Cooking, it's a part of me. It's been on my family for generations. My dad was a big eater. He loved food, and my grandma loved food. I grew up eating like meat, like really good quality meat back in the days. And one of the reasons that I became vegan, because I moved here when I was 17 and I started getting fat and very unhealthy. And I just didn't like it. So at one point I realized that it was the food. It was like all this fried food. I mean, it tastes delicious, but it's not good for you. So I got my tortillas going. We use corn tortillas, GMO-free corn, because everybody gets crazy. All the chilies that we did, so we're gonna use that salsa for our carne asada tacos. This is just spinach and veggies that we just got here this morning with a little bit of balsamic. Then I got the rice, and then this rice has turmeric. That's why it's yellow, because we like turmeric here at Tumerico. We like turmeric. Black beans, guacamole on the carne asada tacos. This right here is vegan cashew cream. So we're gonna do a little epazote pesto on top of the nopal. And I love plantains, so we're just gonna put a plantain right in there. So these are the carne asada tacos with roasted salsa. I don't see vegan food as different from any other food. I grew up with this food, like the flavors, the spices, the way the food is cooked, like it's fresh.
Have you guys been here before or no? First time? All right, just so you know, the menu is on a blackboard because we change it every day. So we try and use ingredients that are either local or organic for everything, and everything's gonna be vegan as is, but you're welcome to add cheese or eggs to whatever dish you want.
Half the people that regularly come here aren't even vegetarian. They just like really good food, and that's what this is. The first time I ate here, I definitely wasn't a vegetarian, nor was I considering becoming one, but when I had the food, it kind of opened me up to understanding that, you know, meat doesn't have to be a part of every meal.
Coming through.
When I'm describing it to people, I always tell them it's an authentic, old-style Mexican plate of food that's extremely healthy.
My grandma, my nana, like, she would make food, but we didn't have any recipes. And I used to love it, and it was all about family. I don't have any recipes. We don't have recipes. Like, I don't make. I never sit down and write recipes. Rocío, ahorita me guarda esas 2 ollas de salsa en el refri, por favor. Hola, chica. How's it going? I used to work 2 jobs for a long time, but at one point, maybe when I was maybe like 28, I just couldn't do it anymore, like late nights. Ricardo, can you run food for me, please? You stay on the window, please.
I saw her go from just carrying a cooler of food with a table and chairs.
Butternut squash tamales at the farmer's market. Yeah, on a little table with no money at all. And I was like so insecure. I was so scared. I think I sold I made like $60 the first time. Yeah, but I was happy because I sold some tamales. So, oh, maybe I can do this.
And then making the cart bigger, and then having that cart kind of planted at a restaurant a couple of times a week to opening this place.
When I started here, it was just the first half of the restaurant, so we didn't have this other space. It blew up really fast, and I don't think Wendy had expected it to become that popular that quickly.
And then she opened that side, and now she's opening downtown, and it's just, I feel overwhelmed with just a lot of compassion for her, because I think she's really, really amazing human being.
She works harder than anyone I've really ever known, so, I mean, she really started this from the ground up, truly. She's a very admirable person with her intensity, you know.
It's just, it makes me feel overwhelmed to know her.
Dos machacas con tofu. ¿Tienes tofu? I get up in the morning, I come to the kitchen, I'm really excited to get here. It just feels good when I put a plate of food on a table for somebody and they feel good about it. And then I see them like eating the food and it's just like, oh yeah, this makes me feel good. This feels good. So it's more than just making just a plate of food. Like I don't see it just like that, you know. I see it more like something bigger than me, and sounds crazy, but that's how I feel it.
This time of year brings new life to the desert. Plants and animals are revived and rejuvenated, and monsoon creatures of all kinds make their presence known by flying, crawling, slithering, and buzzing their way into our lives.
They're out there, they're all over the place, they're on all the trees and bushes and such, but they're very hard to find because they have what appears to be good vision. When you come up to a tree, they'll either stop calling immediately, or if they see you, sometimes they'll move their body around the tree to avoid you seeing them. Sometimes they're hard to key in on from their noise that they're making because it can be so loud, it's hard to tell where it's actually coming from. People mention often, like whenever they hear cicadas, they make it sound like it's hotter outside or it feels hotter outside. That's usually because they're out at the hottest, driest part of the day. They start emerging in June before the monsoons hit. When the conditions are right, the nymphal stage, the immature stage, leaves the ground, finds a place to crawl up to, and then the adult stage emerges from that nymphal stage. And that usually happens in the evening after dark. Only the males make the sound. The sound is used to attract females and to compete with sound of other males. And it's also as a defensive mechanism too. Each species has its own sound, its own call, so to speak. They're just another beautiful part of the biodiversity in our region. Especially southeastern Arizona has the highest amount of insect and other arthropod diversity than any other part of the country.
The list of rattlesnake myths and just snake myths in general is endless. Sure, I agree. Diamondback. We have a western diamondback rattlesnake that was moving across the trail. It was maybe 5 to 10 yards in front of me, and it gave just a little warning rattle, a really slow kind of tail shake, and it continued to move off into the weeds here and just coiled up at the base of this tree That's very typical behavior for a rattlesnake. It doesn't want to be in the way. It gave me a warning that it was there, and it just got out of my way as quick as it could.
Most people are scared of snakes. For a lot of people, this turns into just an outright hatred. I have loved snakes since I was a little kid, but for a while I worked with birds. I worked with peregrine falcons, I worked with California condors, and I came back to snakes because I thought they really needed someone. You know, even among scientists, snakes are not as popular to study, but you know, snakes don't have an advocate. I know I'm not going to turn everyone into snake-obsessed crazies like me, but I think we can all respect them and appreciate them and just, you know, let them do their thing, like every other animal that's here. But because we do live someplace where we have snakes that can potentially hurt you, and it's really painful and really expensive if it happens, don't pick them up.
Most people in Tucson are familiar with these green fig beetles, and some people call them June beetles. We call them fig beetles here. They're beautiful beetles. The bottom side is brilliant metallic green, and the top side is kind of this matte velvet kind of green with a yellow fringe. Bright purpley black wings, and this is one of the beetles that before there were video games, the kids would entertain themselves by tying a thread to their leg and buzzing them around. So it's the original handheld video game. The adult stage is rather short-lived. They pupate after they've become a full-size grub, and then they emerge when the rains hit. They're called fig beetles because that's sort of their preference is figs, but they like any soft fruit like stone fruits, peaches, and plums. And in the desert, their native food is probably prickly pear fruit. And so that's really the only downside of this beautiful animal is it does eat our fruit. The only thing you could do is really bag the fruit if you really want your fruit in the desert. Organisms on the planet really respond to the monsoons and the moisture. And it's the time when they're happiest. You can almost feel their glee as the rains come. All the animals and plants get pretty excited in the desert.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.